A California lawmaker says he has a plan to keep at-risk teens from reoffending, move away from a heavy-handed approach that focuses on incarceration and instead puts the focus on diversionary programs that will keep teens from backsliding into potentially criminal behavior. It sounds like a great plan. It's also an expensive one. California Assemblymember Reginald Jones Sawyer says he needs $100 million to make it happen. He made that request official yesterday afternoon. I want to welcome that Assemblyman Jones Sawyer to the show. We've had a chance to speak before. A delight to talk to you, sir. So first of all, we wanted to talk about this because if this idea has legs, it may be something that could lead the way nationally. What is it about this that you think could make a difference in these young at-risk lives?
Thank you, and it's good to be on with you again. I've told you before, you're one of my favorite newscasters.
Thank you.
I think right now we need to take another step further rehabilitation. And I think we talked about this before. I got $100 million for rehabilitation before it goes on into prison and when they get out. That school-to-prison pipeline is like this big. What if we just choked it off and did more diversion programs and stopped young people from going into the school-to-prison pipeline? What this $100 million for the Youth Reinvestment Fund will do is exactly that, and going to trauma. Trauma seems to be the #1 thing that helps or hinders people from staying out of that school-to-prison pipeline. And what we plan to do is provide funding for at-risk youth, both in the community-based organizations and in government, so that we can ultimately stop the flow of people going through that.
So, Assemblyman, what does that look like, practically speaking, on the ground level? Are you talking about increased social workers? Are you talking about mentoring? What does this look like to you?
So $75 million is for community-based organizations that are already doing this work, or ones that want to do this work to help with youth deal with the trauma of having someone killed, or seeing a gang shooting, or your mother and father may be on drugs, or one is in prison. Our young people are experiencing some tremendous types of trauma. And so those community-based organizations are already working on that. Another $15 million will go to the public defender's office. As youth are being prosecuted, they need somebody to give them a hug. I know that sounds so simplistic, but a lot of these kids have never had anybody just embrace them and tell them that they're smart, they're good, and that they're of value to the community. And then the last portion of them, which I'm extremely proud of, is $10 million for Native American kids who have experienced a lot of trauma. The highest rate of suicide is among Native Americans, for example.
Yeah. I appreciate that you're doing that. It's an often forgotten segment of our population, and I love that you're money towards that. You've got support from the LA mayor. You've got some support from the California Endowment and law enforcement. It's a lot of money you're asking for, sir. How confident are you feeling that at least some portion of this will pass? Well,
right now in California, we probably spend about $300,000 per incarcerated youth in the juvenile justice system right now. I could send 4 people to USC and probably 8 people to UCLA with that money each year. We need to redivert that money. The return on investment is unbelievable. We can save almost $8 billion if we can help 40,000 young people stay out of that school-to-prison pipeline. I'm talking about $8 billion a year. So it's well worth the effort.
I love the way you talk. I love the way you think this through. The ROI, that's a buzzword that'll get people listening. California Assemblymember Reggie Jones Sawyer of the 59th District here in Los Angeles, thank you for making sure that our kids are not part of that pipeline. There's too many of them that have been, and we need to stop it. End stat. Thank you for your work, sir.
And thank you for reporting on this. It's important. Thank you.